Quinn and Cantera, Picks 106.
It's 1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Our buddy Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti here to talk about a story entitled New York Lawsuits Blame Social Media in Terrorist Attacks.
You can read about it. We're reading about it in the Times Union. So the family of victims of the attacks in Paris, Brussels, and Israel blaming Facebook and Twitter for facilitating communications among terrorists. This sounds difficult, Paul.
Yeah, or maybe this is some sort of plant to control us.
Yeah, maybe that angle I had not considered. But here's the deal. You've got these this horrible event. You got these families that've been tragically affected by it, and you got these lawyers, right? So the lawyers are trying to be a little creative here. Tracking down these terrorists and trying to sue them and trying to figure out how to make it right there. Just is not going to be an easy task unless you can prove there's been a government involvement in that. So here's the deal. They're trying to figure out whether or not they can get around this Communications Decency Act, which has been around since 1995 and been interpreted to say, hey, if you're going to operate the Internet, guess what? You're not responsible for the words of the third parties who use your service. So that really does just make them immune from these cases. So they're going to have to change a law, which at this point has been pretty readily enforced.
Wait. So the Facebook is not responsible for someone who's posting on it until...
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that makes sense to me, but why are they changing it?
Well, they're trying to. The lawyers are trying to say, listen, you got to the point where this is terrorism. The rules are changing here, and you've got to be more diligent in what you do. Now, Facebook says that we took off about 1,800 people off Facebook last month who we didn't like their content. So they're doing some of it, but as soon as you start getting Facebook regulating what is going to be terrorism, what's going to be activism, I told that there's been lots of posts on Facebook relative to Mr. Trump, President Trump, and so at what point is that, kind of our First Amendment ability to talk about our president, or are we somehow threatening him or threatening national safety? So at this point, the lawyer's trying to say, listen, for terrorism, you guys have to be more diligent. You weren't, resulted in this attack. I think it's an uphill battle.
Okay, so then why are we suing the government who monitors these things, including the telephone, and sue the government for allowing this to happen?
Can you do that, Paul?
Yeah. No, you can't, and I don't think they're going to pull this off either. I think that it's
Yeah, imagine. The end. What if? Let's fast forward to. I don't know how many years down the road, and all of a sudden Facebook's algorithm is, jives with the U.S. Constitution or something, and then everything we put into our social media, grabs a word, or say there's a terrorist attack, and a media organization says there's a terrorist attack, but that shows up in their algorithm as being some sort of terroristic threat or something. It could screw everything up.
Yep. And therefore, this thing came about in 1995, and what it was, it was kind of it was called the Great Internet Sex Panic Act of 1995, and attempted to regulate, the pornography piece of this. And the courts came in and said, no, you can't fault the Internet for this pornography issue. And then they interpreted to mean that, guess what? These folks are just a platform. And so if you start getting Facebook and Twitter to be monitoring, as you point out, you've got lots of other issues with some of our basic rights.
Think about this. Yeah. If I take the same post that would get me in trouble in Twitter under a law, if this lawsuit was legal, and I print it on a piece of paper and I pin it up at a laundromat, is the laundromat responsible?
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be, would they? They wouldn't.
No, it just keeps getting more absurd.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh God! But that's a great way to picture what's happening.
But when something tragic like this happens, you want to blame somebody. I get it.
Yeah.
And you want to prevent this happening from another family. I get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Hey, any thoughts, just in like 30 seconds off the top of your head, suing the sitting president of the United States? He's getting sued right now for some crap. Is that ever gonna? Is that gonna go?
As you mean, as it pertains to some of these civil lawsuits and some of this stuff. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere during the next 4 years. Yeah, that's going to kind of be sitting tight, and maybe it'll exist then, maybe it won't. But no, sitting president is going to be pretty immune from this. There's lots of ways to stop these civil lawsuits.
They do it just to keep him on his toes and to let them know they're knocking at the door. That's why they do it, right?
Yeah, eyes on.
I think you're absolutely right.
1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. It's Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, thanks, guys.
Be safe today.
Quinn and Cantera, mornings on Picks 106.